Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, Braun Strowman gets blasted by WWE and AEW stars after being a bit silly on social media.
WWE finally have got an idea who it is who's going to dethrone Roman Reigns.
I'll tell you about the WWE wrestler who's getting backstage praise for their recent progress.
And a new AEW trio were contacted by WWE before they became All Elite. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
All right, I guess we're going to kick this thing off by talking about Braun Strowman.
Oh, good.
He was tweeting yesterday. He sure was tweeting. The first one that kind of emerged, it was on Sunday afternoon. I'm not sure what that time that would have been where he was. I guess he would have still been in Saudi Arabia at the time.
Yeah, maybe in the air.
I'll just tell you what he tweeted. Obviously, he wrestled Omos at Crown Jewel. Holy hell at the giant Omos. Can you believe that we got 47 5 stars? What? And reminded the people that no one cares about those floppy floppers. Giants and monsters greater than Flippy Flipper bag your groceries at Kroger. I don't know what that last bit means particularly, but he had hashtag airport test, hashtag size is the prize, hashtag swole is the goal. Of course, that match was the battle of the big boys, the monster against the giant, 7'3" versus 6'8". I
think so, yeah.
They're massive. Both of them are huge either way. He spent the next hour or so arguing with people in his replies.
And falling for jokes that were clearly jokes and thinking they were real.
Yep, pretty standard stuff. He chose to spend his Sunday afternoon doing that. About an hour or so later, he was like, I'm going to get some sleep on this flight. And then he tweeted something along the lines of, hey, everybody in the locker room, I respect you. I was just joking.
It's just a joke, guys.
He used the term IWC, which is a bit outdated in 2022, and went, anytime you criticize me, anytime I say something, you melt, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, basically, he tweeted something that people disagreed with. He got a bit of backlash for it, and then he was like, guys, it was just a joke. But we're going to talk about some of the more interesting replies that came from AEW, WWE, and beyond. Chris Jericho, quote tweeting the first one saying, I used to bag groceries. Yeah, so did I, Braun.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Look at me. I made it.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
I've worn a pair of flip-flops as well. So, you know.
I worked in the co-op, mate.
Ooh.
There you go. Take that.
Fancy.
Never mind
Oh,
Kroger.
your majesty.
I don't really know what Kroger is. Is that an American
Kroger? Probably, I assume so.
Store?
Either that or a Saudi grocery shop, presumably. You just saw it as he was walking to the airport.
Brody King replied to Chris Jericho. Good. Brody King replied saying, yeah, I still buy groceries. I use self-service.
Good point.
Will Ospreay chimed in with perhaps the best reply apart from Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, Mustafa Ali wins this one.
Ospreay quote tweeted saying, why are you so mad about making money? It's dead funny that you actually did such a great job and you're mad at other people that do the same job as you. Relax, my guy. Just say you really enjoyed showing super heavyweight wrestling. It's like the most sensible, laid back of all of this. But Mustafa Ali went for the bloomin' ropes, didn't he?
Go on.
He quote tweeted Braun, the first one, saying, can you teach me how to get fired?
Well played, sir.
Now that's obviously a reference to two things. One, Braun getting released in June 2021, and then Mustafa earlier this year, he asked for his release. So,
that's very good.
Braun replied saying, don't you work in catering now, which is a pretty odd timing considering that Ali's been on Raw.
Don't say that, he's finally getting a push.
Yeah, he's been on quite consistently lately, but never mind. But Mustafa Ali replied saying, I was definitely in the kitchen cooking you, which is quite true. So, yeah, all of this stuff is gone. I'll keep my thoughts on this quite succinct. Number one, I'm surprised that a man who probably makes over $1 million a year would choose to spend his afternoon arguing with people on social media. Number two, I think that if Braun was truly confident in super heavyweight wrestling or whatever and all of that stuff, he probably wouldn't have such a bug on his shoulder about other styles. It's a bit of a weird, insecure ego thing, I think.
Yep.
And third, I like all forms of wrestling. You can have more than one, guys.
Yep.
Big boy wrestling done well is great. Flippy wrestling done well is great. Technical wrestling done well, that's great too. Deathmatch wrestling, not everyone's cup of tea, but I think if you do it well, it's tremendous.
Each to their own, indeed, Andy.
My definition is good stuff is good.
Yes, exactly. Also, I don't understand, what was he wrote? Floppy, sure it's flippy floppers, surely.
Well, he said floppy floppers and then flippy flippers. I'm not sure if they're the same thing or if there's a differentiation.
I'll tell you what, I will say, I agree with Braun Strowman. when it comes to the hashtags. Read the hashtags.
Hashtag airport test.
Hashtag
Size is the prize.
Hashtag
swole is the goal.
Come on.
I mean, it might
You
be
know
the
me.
goal, but we're built like...
I'm always clanging and banging, you know.
I'm built like the Stay Puffed Marshmallow, man.
Look,
You're like a tree.
Yeah, this is ridiculous, because I was saying this on the stream and the review on Saturday. They had a really fun big guy match.
Good, yeah,
it was just two big lads smashing into each other. Braun hit one big move and won. And I was like, that was perfect. That was better, in my opinion, than Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley.
It's a culture war within a culture war, isn't
And
it?
then you have to go and do you know how I spent my Sunday afternoon? I haven't got $1 million, you may have noticed. But you know how I spent my Sunday afternoon? I went and watched Black Adam at the cinema and had enchiladas. I had a better afternoon than Braun Strowman.
Yeah, arguing with people online.
Why?
It's really weird. I don't like when people think wrestling can only be one thing and only be one style. And it's like, even stuff that's like not for me, like some supernatural stuff I sometimes zone out of, for example. I just go, cool, other people enjoy it. Who cares?
Literally look at what we said about Nikki ASH the other week.
Yeah, man. Like,
not for us, but it is for other people, so that's
Shikara
fine.
was never for me, but I understand, like, appreciate that it had an audience. Crazy.
Tell you what is for everyone.
Just be normal.
The bloodline, we the ones. Roman Reigns obviously retained his championship.
We the marks.
Retained the championship against Logan Paul in an excellent match on Saturday at Crown Jewel. And finally, according to WrestleVotes, WWE might have a bloody clue as to who it is who's going to take the world title from him, because it is one of the biggest questions in wrestling, isn't it, Andy?
Still is.
WrestleVotes said they have an idea, they being WWE, pronouns pal, they have an idea of who is going to beat Roman. I don't know specifically if it's Cody, I don't know if it's The Rock, I don't know if it's Bray Wyatt, but I think there's a handful of guys that they would say, all right, that makes sense for the future, but I don't think it's happening anytime soon, to be honest with you, seemingly giving more credence to the fact that the dethroning is probably going to happen at next year's WrestleMania. But yeah, we discussed this quite a few times throughout this year, Andy, specifically a lot following WrestleMania this year, because we were like, they don't know, do they? Yeah. They haven't got a bloody clue who it's going to be. Unless it's The Rock, and they're going to be working hard at that, they haven't got a clue. Now, as we've mentioned before, there's quite a few choices. There's many mentioned there by WrestleVotes. Sami Zayn's another one.
Yeah, they've got options, for sure. And if they do finally have, you know, an idea of who's going to take it, which they haven't had for a while, pretty much since this started, that's great. That's progress, and it's a product of good presentation and good booking. Cody's a good option. That's the option I would go with. Cody wins at Mania. Get through the Sami defense before that, because I don't think Sami should win. I don't think he should beat him. I think
heartbreakingly close.
Yeah, heartbreaking defeat, and then he beats the Usos with Kevin Owens at Mania. Boom, boom, boom. I think Cody should win after winning the Rumble if he's able to compete in the Rumble. Bray is super over and would be an option as well. Maybe you could do him and Roman not for the title after Mania at some point, because Bray, the kind of supernatural character-y stuff, doesn't always mesh well with titles. So, yeah, lots of options. It's good.
Yeah, in my opinion, subjectively, either Cody or Sami for me. I think you can tell a great story with either
Subjectively,
of them.
I would 100% put it on Sami straight away.
Yeah, exactly. And I would rather it wasn't Bray or The Rock, but, you know, I've got my little birds.
Varys.
Do you know who they've told me it's going to be?
What's that?
Rick Boogs!
Okay.
I'd be okay with that as well, to be honest.
Gangrel as well. I like all these options. You know what else I would like?
Go on.
You subscribed to the channel. Right.
Press the bell as well.
What wrestler is getting big praise backstage for the recent progress?
I read this.
We've already talked about him.
Omos.
Omos.
Sorry.
Yes. The big man, the
he was
Nigerian
great.
giant. He's of course coming off this match with Braun at Crown Jewel, and he's been getting a fair bit of praise. This is according to PW Insider's Mike Johnson, said that not only did he get praise for the match at Crown Jewel, but for his recent progress as well. His form is something that WWE are very, very happy with. So he's a really interesting case. Classic case initially of a guy who was just called up because he's huge.
Really big.
He had a few matches on the house show scene. He was obviously the Raw Underground bouncer. Remember Raw Underground? Oh my goodness.
I missed that. I'm going to send a tweet in a few years saying, oh, this is underrated. People don't...
Yeah, it's like these wee guys who tweet every now and then going, oh, the Thunderdome was great, wasn't it? And inexplicably get 10,000 likes.
Tell you what I missed. 2 out of 3 Falls matches on every show.
I'm really going to miss. Never mind. But yes, all of that stuff. But then he did the tag team with AJ, which I thought that was a lot of fun.
That was great. Especially the first big one at Mania was great.
I thought that was a lot of fun. He's been on his own. Well, I mean, he's got MVP as his manager, but like he's a singles guy now, Omos, and still running through the big boys. I I quite like a big guy who's kind of like knows what he is and doesn't,
I'm going to hold my hands up and take the L on this one. I was kind of like, I think Omos is kind of done after this. He's going to lose this, sets up Braun. And then, but Omos, really surprised me in a great way. And he's trash talking. Like, normally you don't really hear a lot from him. He just goes, oh, look how big my bloody hand is, and then just smashes some blokes in. And
a bloody big hand.
Yes, he lost at Crown Jewel, but I thought, his performance was really good, and I'm not surprised by this. I am genuinely intrigued to see what they do next with him, because suddenly I'm reinvested in him, and he didn't feel the need to go on social media and talk bollocks. Finally, let's talk about the Kingdom. Obviously, recently arrived in
Saudi
AEW.
Arabia?
No,
okay.
the team of, now you're testing me, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis, of course. And they've recently arrived in AEW. No match yet for Mike Bennett, or I suppose for Maria Kanellis either. But Matt Taven, who I'd never really seen before, if I'm perfectly honest, really looked great for me, even though he lost against Wardlow for that TNT Championship match. And it's been revealed by Fightful Select, no crap, just Sap, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, that the Kingdom were contacted by WWE before they went to AEW. In fact, prior to their departure from Impact Wrestling, that wrapped up in October? Yes. And apparently the people after them from the WWE side of things were, unsurprisingly, Triple H and Gabe Sapolsky. They were the points of contact to get to them. And I can understand why.
Yeah, I think they'd have been a great fit in WWE, but I think they're a good fit in AEW as well. They've been together. They've had various periods apart because of feuds and working for different companies.
And having babies.
Having kids and stuff. Yeah, they've been up to a lot. But, they started teaming together, I think it was like 2014. So they've got loads of history, loads of chemistry. They're all very good. I think Mike Bennett in particular is one of the most improved guys across the board, over the past few years.
It's a great story.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I wonder if maybe they'll be assigned to Ring of Honor.
Yes.
If and when Tony Khan gets that cooking on a weekly basis. But they're really good. And I'm happy they have a deal because they seem like good people as well.
Yeah, I want to see more from Matt Taven. That really whet my appetite when I saw it.
Madison Square Taven in 2019.
Hey, of course. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from regular contributor Eddie Zamharry. Thanks for the question, as always, Eddie. Who says, hey guys, with the unbelievable performance from Logan Paul and what happened in the aftermath at Crown Jewel, do you think we will see a match between the Paul brothers and the Usos one day?
Yeah, I think you're definitely going to get a Paul brothers tag team match at some stage. Obviously, Logan's injured. He's going to be on the shelf for a while, unfortunately.
ACL, MCL, and meniscus.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
That's a big boy injury. Somebody posted on Reddit, actually. Reddit providing useful information. Oh,
what?
My goodness. That it was legitimately the exact same injury that Seth Rollins suffered 7 years to the day.
Bloody hell.
Spooky.
Is Logan Paul the second coming of... Oh, no, Seth Rollins is still alive. Sorry.
Yeah, yes, he's still active.
That would, yeah.
But yeah, I do think you'll get that. Jake Paul seems receptive to wrestling. Obviously, Jake Paul is quite an objectionable character.
Yeah, he made Logan Paul look a lot less detestable.
Yeah, he certainly did. His brother's a natural at this.
Yeah.
That's my analysis. The Usos would be good opponents.
Yeah, exactly. They're both, as much as I despise Jake Paul and kind of like Logan Paul now, if I'm perfectly honest, they're both really good athletes. And yeah, after what happened on Saturday, which I thought was truly, truly sensational, that clip of the slow-mo jump off is... Because we saw him doing it and we were like, well, that's going to be a load of crap. You're not going to be able to see anything there. And then it was one of the most shared things following Crown Jewel. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't quite think they're going to be the ones to end the world record title reign. It's not happened yet.
No.
Wait till
Sammy and Kevin, baby.
Yes, it makes sense. But yeah, I would not be surprised whatsoever. But get well soon, Logan Paul, from that injury. Hey, the Buckshot Diet's not for everyone. Sean Ackling gives us our second question of the day.
Phil Brooks.
Sean says, I will fight anyone who has a problem with Tony Schiavone, except Jade Cargill. Who is your favourite wrestling uncle or anyone in wrestling who's older and beloved, male or female?
Yeah, if you insult Tony Schiavone, I'm coming for your throat.
You fat old prick.
What are you doing? Why do you keep doing this?
Sorry, I'm repping my boy, Maxwell.
I know you just quoted.
Get well soon, Maxwell.
Tugboat, man. Legitimately.
Really?
Tugboat. Yeah. So, it works both ways. Because there's a great Cody Rhodes interview where he's talking about Uncle Fred.
Yes.
That's his name, Fred Ottman.
Oh, I'll have to watch that again.
But, the guy rules. I love Tugboat. It's such a stupid gimmick. Which is why it's so perfect. Guy thinks he's a boat. Like, there's a promo that he did earlier in his run where he's like, when I was a young boy out there, I wanted to be two things: a wrestler and a boat. That's like, what?
Never give up on your dreams, kids.
Yeah, the natural disasters were fun.
Yeah.
Of course, the Shockmaster is the greatest thing of all time, and also, Fred Ottman, the man behind all this chaos, really owns it as well. Like, he goes to conventions with the Shockmaster helmet and just plays it up and like has a good time. By all accounts, just a lovely human being. It's Tugboat, man.
You've got the right answer. And it's not really, it's meant to be subjective, but that is the correct answer.
Yeah, it's Tugger, Uncle Tugger.
So I'm going to just defer my answer for someone who is beloved in the WhatCulture office as well. I'm going to go Molly Holly. Like, Molly Holly's just, like, I don't know anyone in wrestling who dislikes her. She's got these amazing stories that you only find, like, she doesn't crow about them. People just reveal, oh yeah, by the way, she paid for my wrestling training or whatever it may be. And just rewind and watch the footage of me and Phil watching the Rumble this year when Nikki ASH takes her out. I don't think I've ever sworn that much on stream before, and Phil Chambers nearly exploded. So it's Molly Holly for me, but I think Tugboat is probably the correct answer.
Arn Anderson would be an interesting uncle. He'd keep you in line,
Well,
wouldn't he?
the thing is, anyone's got a problem with Arn Anderson's going to have to deal with
They're gonna get there.
with Glock Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
So
of course. I pull out the Glock. I forgot about that.
that was like a year ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
It feels like it happened in a different universe.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. I pull out the Glock.
Right, fine. What's the clip? What's the thing? Oh no, call an ambulance, but not for me. Amazing.
Great.
Right, final question today comes from Daz, and I like good questions, and this is a good question from Daz. But Daz got his question asked because of his amazing picture that he sent with us. He writes, "Good morning, gents. The picture is me following the Buzzards for the 13.1 miles. That's a half marathon, same as the Great North Run, for the Disney half marathon. Look at that. He ran it as Bray Wyatt with the lantern.
Holding the lantern.
Daz, brilliant work. Congratulations for all of us here at
Exemplary
WhatCulture.
dedication to the flipping fiend.
I
love it.
And he's beating Minnie Mouse as well. Suck it, Minnie.
Take that, you cartoon.
Daz writes, if it is The Rock versus Roman the first night and then Sammy versus Roman the second night of Mania, no word as where he's putting the title there, but I like that booking regardless. What do you do with Cody at WrestleMania?
Right, I'm going to be really uncreative and just pick someone because it'd be a great match.
Okay.
AJ Styles.
Yep.
They've never gone one-on-one.
Yep.
Mental. I mean, not so mental when you think about, like, Cody leaving WWE. AJ was coming back in, and like they've not really crossed paths or whatever.
They said the words Bullet Club at Crown Jewel.
They said Bullet Club. They also shouted out Yuki Ishikawa, which was I did not expect on the WWE show. But yeah, they've never wrestled. The only time they've shared a ring, actually, according to Cage Match, was the 2016 Royal Rumble, which was of course AJ's debut. It's fresh, it's exciting. They'd have a great match. They both know the WWE style really well. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. I like that booking, but I've got better booking, unfortunately, Andy. What's equivalent to dethroning, 2.5 years of Roman Reigns in the Universal Championship? That's right, it's the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That's what I do. I don't know. I don't think I need to know, because I think it is going to be Cody. And if worst comes to worst, as much as it might not work now, because Seth Rollins is kind of a babyface, just do another match with Seth Rollins, because they produce magic in the ring, don't they?
Yeah. It's an easy choice, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, let's move on to today's and finally, and a massive shout out to Bianca Belair. You've heard of her?
No, who's that?
Raw Women's Champion. She's quite good. Quite strong as well. But she revealed on Twitter overnight, so I've seen it this morning, a fun gear fact, Andy. She writes, I didn't have time to make my gear at home, so I made it on the road between shows, in the hotel, on the bus and on the plane. Most of my gear was sewn by hand or glued together. Whenever you mention my name, just make sure you add that. I always give it my all. For someone who is the tippy top of this, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love hearing like little stories about the dedication and the craft that people are putting into the presentation in their act. It's all, like Bianca's great. Like everything about her rules.
I love Bianca Belair, and I saw some people after Crown Jewel going, Bianca Belair's John Cena, and I thought,
were they white males by any chance?
Yeah, and I also
that's
thought,
a coincidence.
But I also thought that's not the dig you think it is.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it really isn't.
She's amazing. Yeah. Put some damn respect on that woman's name. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling. Wherever you get your podcasts from. For Daily Wrestling Podcast, me and the Dudley's going to review Crown Jewel, Rampage, and look ahead to a little bit later. today. Thoughts, Twitter questions, all that good stuff at WhatCulture WWE on Twitter. Watch there. Follow both of us. Follow Andy Murray
At Andy H. Murray. The H stands for hey. Have you ever seen a 7-foot giant doing a shooting star 630 double flipping space flying tiger drop off a ladder through a table?
What?
Me neither, but I'd like to.
Yeah. And I'd probably book it with my wild booking ideas.
EWR. Let's go.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.
TEW. That one was too complicated for me. I'll stick to EWR. Bye.